Hey, this is Lorena, and I'm right in the middle of baseball season. I have several teams that I'm doing work on. I do vinyl on jerseys and embroider a name and number on a hat, on the hats of the children and on the coaches. So I wanted to share with you what I charge and how I charge and why I charge the way I charge. Okay, so that's what it's going to be about. Okay, so this is how a baseball team comes to me. In this bag, there is a potential of having about 15 jerseys and 15 hats. Usually I end up doing the children's jerseys and hats, which ends up being 12 jerseys and 12 hats. But a lot of times the coaches do want their name and number on their hats and also their name on their jersey. So in this bag, there is a potential of having 12 to 15. Sometimes I end up having more jerseys because the coaches have their wives that are called team moms, and they're really into it. So there is a potential of having more jerseys and more hats in here. So one way I get kids to know, or teams to know, that I do work for them is I make flyers for the youth associations. There's so many team associations, over here it's BBYA. There's also a Pepsi soccer field in my area. There's also a cheerleading in my area. What I do for BBYA is initially I started by word of mouth. Someone told them that I do embroidery work, and so that's how I became known to them. But the truth is you can go yourself and talk to them and offer your services. One of the things I do is I make a flyer with really great rates. Really great rates are what's important here. You can have a flyer with your original rates and you're not going to get any work. Price yourself so well that it's almost impossible for them to say no. I charge to do a name on a jersey, doesn't matter how many letters are in your name, $6. And what I did different than my competitors is I increased the height of the name by half an inch. Yeah, half an inch. My competitors charge per letter. That's not gonna work for me. I just charge a full, it doesn't matter how many letters. I'm doing a team rate and that's it. If you only have 3 letters, same rate in comparison to a person who has 10 to 12 letters in their name. It didn't matter to me. It's all the same in a whole. I lose money when I have bigger names, but I also kind of gain money back when the names are small. To me, it just all evens out in the wash, kind of, okay? So I make a flyer with some really great rates. I also recommend that you use cardstock with bright paper so that it's visible, and make your font pretty big in size. So here you see my vinyl and my embroidery and my rates. I price myself extremely well, and understand that I'm only pricing myself this well because I'm going to get a bulk amount of hats. Too much information, people won't look at it. Showing and showcasing my work to 12 parents who their kids are going to wear the name on their hats and the number. And also too, I'm showcasing the kind of work I could do on vinyl. So there's 12 people that are gonna see my work in this one bag. So not only is the rate great, but then they're gonna see the ability that I have to do this kind of work. And what I've learned as I've done this is I've ended up clients who never knew me. They asked the coach who brought me the jerseys and the embroidery, they asked them, and I ended up having new clientele come to me to embroider their logos for their businesses, or even lunch bags because they're teachers. I ended up having a 12 branching out stream of different people who were interested in my work. That because yes, I'm giving a really great price, now it's opened the door of new opportunities who saw my work. So let's talk about how long it takes me to do the work. For me to embroider the name on 12 hats, it can take me up to an hour. Sometimes the names are bigger, sometimes the name is smaller, but I've noticed in general it could take up to 48 minutes to an hour just to embroider the name on 12 hats. Now, it also takes me probably another 25 to 30 minutes to embroider numbers on hats. Now, let me just be clear, I'm usually real fast on hats, especially when I'm doing the numbers, but Let's say in general, I spend an hour and 30 minutes doing name and number on 12 hats, okay? Okay, so another thing I end up using a lot of time, it's putting the names into the computer and getting the vinyl cutter ready to cut all the vinyl. It can take me about 30 to 40 minutes to cut all the vinyl and weed it, and it takes me probably another 30 minutes to heat press everything. So let's say as a whole, just to do all the cutting and heat pressing, it takes me an hour. So for me to do a whole team of kids' jerseys, name and number on hats, and name on jerseys, in a whole, it takes me 2 hours and 30 minutes. So let's do our expenses. Expense number one, it's my thread. I end up buying my thread at allstitch.com. This big, beautiful spool costs $7.95. It comes out to having 5,500 yards, less than 10 cents to do a whole team of hats. But this is what I use, Madeira thread, allstitch.com. I also use Allstitch has their own pre-wound bobbins. I end up making or embroidering 5 teams and using 1 bobbin. It's $19.95 for a whole box of them. They give me about 144 to fill in a box. I love these pre-wounds. They're the best thing ever. But each individual pre-wound costs 17 cents. I guess my expenses just on thread for one team could be about, let's say 20 cents, okay? 20 cents. Expense number 2 is sticky stabilizer. I use this to do the hats and embroider the name and number on them. I love this 4.5 inch size. This is my best size and width. I do have them bigger, but this is my favorite. I ended up buying 25 yards of it at allstitch.com. I know they're my favorite place to buy embroidery supplies. And I spent $21.33 for this beautiful roll. It comes out to being 85 cents a yard, and I believe I use about maybe 2 feet of it. And I'm exaggerating if I use 2 feet of it, but let's say 2 feet. So it comes out to 56 cents to do one team. My other expense is vinyl. I end up using about 2.5 feet of vinyl. If you buy it here in Herwigs in San Antonio, it's $3.10. I bought 30 yards of this vinyl online, which comes out to $2.10 a square foot. And I end up using 2.5 feet of it, so it's $5.25. This is my biggest expense when I do baseball teams, the vinyl. Okay, another expense that you guys want to know about is my utilities, which I don't even consider, but me and my son measured this space, and based on the square footage of my house and the square footage of this space, we ended up figuring out that for me to work here for 1 week in utilities, I used $1.88. I could get about 10 to 15 teams out in a week. And so if you divide that by 7 days, it comes out to 27 cents a day. And if you divide that by 2.5 hours, it's just ridiculous. But let's say 27 cents for the day. My expenses are $6.27 that I use in materials, and that's overestimating. And I charge each team, if it's only 12 jerseys and 12 hats with name and numbers, $12 each person. 12 people, $144 minus $6.27. So my total income, or what I make, excluding the expenses that are a bit over exaggerated, but hey, that's what it is. Removing the expenses, I made $137.75. Yes, that's what I made for one team. And that also includes my expenses. Now, if I divide that by 2.5, because it takes me 2.5 hours to do one team, it comes out to $55.09 an hour. Now, I also wanted to share this. One of the reasons why my expenses are so small is because I work from home. It's my space, it's my home, and so any other expenses that are a little bit higher, like the vinyl, they'll be okay, because a lot of the expenses are very small because I'm not paying utilities, I'm not paying employees, I'm not paying anybody but myself doing the work. You need to also consider is purchasing the machines. They are expensive, okay? My heat press that I purchased that's worth about $1,000, I found it from a friend and I purchased it for $300. Now, of course, the embroidery machines are expensive, but they're machines. They depreciate through your taxes and you get a tax credit for it. But there is this wonderful depreciation that comes with it, and it's your machine. Now, my machines currently were all old, and they were so old they didn't depreciate anymore. So I appreciate it if you'd subscribe. I thank you for watching.